Hey yo, Mr. G, what's popping today?
What's good?
How
What's
you doing?
Good? I'm great. I'm nearing next to my birthday, so birthday week mood. Uchitegera.
Yeah.
Aquarius season.
Yeah,
Ate wamba Aquarius tetu saga.
yeah,
Yeah, so that's the mood.
that's what's up.
Yes.
Well, the culture of celebrating birthdays here, on a certain level, maybe you should throw us a bash, like, yo, close up some streets.
I'm one of those people who doesn't celebrate their birthday. I'm here saying I'm in a birthday mood, but I'm also trying to just get into that culture. Yeah, I don't usually celebrate my birthdays, but this one is special. This one is really, really special.
Yeah.
And I've come to a point in my life where I need to learn to celebrate my wins. You know, like waking up and being a part of this beautiful human race is a credit. So
Yeah,
so I recognize that, and I'm going to try to celebrate each day. I'm going to celebrate it for a week,
yeah,
22nd to 29th.
yeah.
So in NCF. If you happen to be around, a few bottles might hit you. Massages,
They might fly over.
you might
and,
even take a brief trip to Zanzibar
Yeah,
or Lamu, just to go snorkeling and, you know, like swim with turtles and study the polyps.
yeah,
Uganda nyumango lina sente.
yeah.
Uganda nyumango lina sente.
Yeah, that's what's up. We're about to get into what has been happening around, you know.
Yes, sir.
I don't know if you've watched the Diddy's documentary.
No, I haven't. But
You know.
I'm so sure all the highlights we have heard about, because Diddy has lived a very public life. So what happened?
Yeah. It was more of, you know, his close associates then, you know, giving their view on what used to happen and everything. But most of them...
Let me ask you a question before you go further.
Yeah.
When you say old associates, was J-Lo there?
No, his associates in terms of business.
Or his old... Was Jay-Z a part of this documentary?
He wasn't. I don't think Jay-Z
So
could...
which associates are you guys talking about? Talking about Mr. Bentley who used to hold his umbrella?
Like Gene Dean.
Who the hell is that?
His former bodyguard. Who was his bodyguard for a long time. Who was actually one of those first people to come out.
Who is always running his mouth on whatever, on every network.
Yeah. And also his high school...
I'm putting that dude in the same category of Jaguar Wright.
Yeah.
Like he's always... No man should run his mouth like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he also had a couple of friends in there, you know. Diddy's old friends, like childhood friends whom he grew up with. One guy was telling a story, and a couple of others who were really close to him as a person, you know, from when he was coming up.
Yeah, and were they saying positive things, bad things? What was happening?
No, they were being real about what used to transpire,
Yes.
you know, the time they were with Diddy.
Yes.
You know, and even his girlfriend then, his wife.
Yes.
I think they got married at some point, you know.
Kim Porter? They brought Kim Porter back?
Yeah. And now the ex
Kim Porter passed away, you know that?
Yeah, but her guy who was with her before Diddy, whom they have a son with.
The musician. What's his name? He was part of a legendary R&B group.
Yeah.
Yes.
So he was also in there, and he also gave his take, and he said something that King told him.
Now, Muluganda, we have this saying that says, so it's Mujao. Basically, they brought the person who hated Diddy to give testimony. It's basically your ex's ex.
Yeah.
You get me? So I think, you know what?
He had a son with Kim Porter.
Let's revisit this. Let's revisit this when I watch the documentary. I'm going to watch it tonight, and then we're going to do a debrief. But from what I'm gathering, I'm so sure Shine was a part of this documentary.
He wasn't.
He wasn't?
He wasn't.
Then which people are you talking about? Was Lil Kim a part of this documentary?
When you see now, those are...
I'm good on this documentary. Let's wait for the one that 50 Cent is going to do. Let's wait for the 50 Cent one, because you're telling me about a C budget documentary that doesn't really have...
Yeah, but also that comes to a situation whereby you get to realize that actually the people you see with somebody on TV are not usually the closest to him. when he's doing his other business, like when he's
Bro,
running his
you've
company.
moved with me before, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Do you know how many people could say they are my associates that don't really know me at all?
Very many could claim,
Yes.
but this, the story they say about you is the assurance that they are. Somebody's gonna bring up something and bring up photos.
Bro, I've seen people
Yeah.
who have just taken a picture with a celebrity like this,
Yeah.
and constructed a million stories of how the person owes them money, and to get out of their debts they say gundi namuola agenda kunsasula. You see, I even have a picture with them.
Yeah.
That's not true.
Yeah, sure thing. But
Like
if you have a picture with somebody when they were still kids,
Mm-hmm.
and your parents knew each other, and you have a series of
Okay, maybe I was
things to
visiting
show.
my auntie from Chazanga, and that they happen to have a camera there.
Okay,
And this person
I don't
constructs
think
the whole narrative.
I don't think putting together that documentary.
I'm not trying to say they're lying. I'm just
Yeah.
trying to dissect to you that when a person says that someone's associate,
Yeah.
they better have a relationship of like years.
Yeah.
You get me?
Yeah.
Not I have this one picture
Yeah.
from when we were kids. I know this guy in and out. No, you don't. That's just a photo moment. And photo moments happen all the time. And I also see it happening a lot when they try to put politicians in deep holes and they say, you see, he has a picture with so-and-so. Do you know how many pictures politicians take in a day?
Yeah.
Like someone asks for a picture and that's it, And some people have creative imaginations that can create a whole story about that.
Yeah.
So until somebody's like, oh, Lil Kim, oh, I was his secretary, oh, I was married to him, oh, he was my boss. Like that's a relationship.
Exactly.
But not, I have this one picture.
No, it's like the guy who came out and he was like, I was his best friend.
Yes.
That's something to.
When we were kids in P2.
Coming up.
Okay.
And
Let me.
yeah.
I'm good on this documentary, please.
Well,
let's move on to what's next. Let's wait for 50 Cent's documentary, and the trial is going to unveil so many things.
Yeah.
This is going to be the trial of the century.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Nelly is responding to the backlash of performing at the celebratory events for the inauguration of Donald Trump. Speaking with Willie D on his podcast, Nelly revealed this shouldn't even be an argument. I'm not doing this for money. I'm doing this because it's an honor. Nelly said, I respect the office. It was like, it don't matter who is in the office. The same way that our men and women, our brothers and sisters who protect this country have to go to war and put their lives on the line for whoever is in the office.
Yes.
If they can put their life online for whoever is in office, I can damn sure perform. What do you think about that?
When I read that, I said, this is a very smart statement.
Yeah.
It's a very, very smart statement because then again, it questions the person who is posing the question and the people who are judging this artist, right?
Yeah.
That, aren't we here to serve America?
Yeah.
You get me? So I'm doing this duty to serve America.
Yeah.
So it's a very smart answer.
Yeah.
But I also saw so many people calling out Snoop Dogg for being a hypocrite.
Yeah.
Because Snoop Dogg, when the first inauguration for Donald Trump, he
Yeah.
called out people for being goofies, Uncle Toms, for doing the whole nine, right?
Yeah.
And then here he was also performing at the inauguration.
Yeah.
In Uganda, people are having this whole thing of like, how do we get the politics out of the industry? It's suffocating it, it's killing it. But you find that everywhere in the world, because entertainment is a form, entertainment brings people together. Like even in God's heaven, you still had Satan.
Yeah.
God told Satan, lead the choir. Satan felt he was, he was the shit. He thought he could replace God. So music, controversy, leadership, like kind of this connecting lines always, right?
Yeah.
And I think it all boils down to, at the end of the day, to personal choice.
Yeah.
Because I don't think there can ever be a leader of a free world,
Yeah.
who doesn't have people that side with him.
Yeah.
You get me? And it's a very, very tricky question. But it's a very tricky situation, but it is very, it's a mark of intelligence and respect for each other.
Yeah.
To respect people's choices, even though you don't agree with them.
Yeah.
which is what makes America great. America is founded to be a free land
Yeah.
where everyone is free to live their life how they see fit without impinging on the rights of another person.
Yeah.
So if he wanted to go perform, that's his right,
Yeah.
you know? It was a very smart statement by evoking the sentiment, the same sentiment that they give to their soldiers, because America, whether you're left or right, most people like really care for their soldiers.
Yeah. He also,
Except the hippies who live in California. First we are like, no, flowers, why attack? War is not the answer. That's the state I come from.
yeah.
And I'm so sure so many people from Cali had a problem with Snoop and Nelly performing. Yeah.
Yeah. I think he also, he was asked if Kamala Harris invited him during the campaigns. He was like, no, she didn't. And he kind of felt like, yo, since you didn't invite me, you know, big homie.
Do you know what?
Yeah.
In a strange way, Donald Trump has been so intertwined with rappers.
Yeah.
And ever since he gave a presidential pardon to Kodak Black,
Yeah.
like rappers and Donald Trump have been so intertwined, because also I think it's the very first time we're having a president who's like so well pronounced in the entertainment sector than before. Before we had, what was his name? Ronald Reagan, who was an actor.
Yeah.
But he wasn't like on TV every day. He wasn't part of, Donald Trump has WWE friends. He has like apprentice friends. He has like running Miss World. So he has been in the entertainment sector and entertainment circles that so many people are willing to overlook his statements, you know, overlook his policies.
Yeah.
But it's all convoluted that right now America is becoming so tribal that when something doesn't belong to their tribe, they are quick to criticize it.
Yeah.
And Donald Trump has not been a man of controversy. On one side, he's giving rappers presidential pardons and not sending them to jail.
Yeah.
But on the other side, we are also well aware that he was advocating for the death of like 5 innocent boys and taking out newspaper ads calling for their death.
Yeah.
That's the same person.
Yeah.
So for most people who are in the Black Lives Matter movement, they are really, really mad at that, saying maybe this is the character of this person.
Yeah.
But then on the other side, you say maybe people have growth and they can change, and maybe that was him then and this is him now. We don't know.
Yeah.
We don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, but so many immigrant communities are living in fear because they don't know what's next with this presidency.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the Academy is, trying so hard to push forward, the Grammy Awards event that they always organize each year. And the LA fires, the Academy donated, and together with other companies, donated over $1 million, to the LA fire tragedy. How do you think this has affected the music industry, entertainment industry generally? In regards to the LA fires in Hollywood?
Let me put it this way. LA is divided up in so many parts. You have the East LA, you have the North Hollywood and that other whole route. And then you have the people on the west side. You find that most people live on the west side and somewhere around Beverly Hills, right?
Yeah.
Beverly Hills, and then the Bagubelida, Santa Monica, all the way to the PCH, Malibu, Topanga. This is entertainment central, basically.
Yeah.
Everybody who has a dream, gets some money, wants to live on that side because it's really beautiful, that side.
Yeah.
Now, that's the area that burned down.
Yeah.
So most of the people who would be in the audience, their houses actually burned down.
Yeah.
Most of the producers, most of the organizers, some of them could be homeless right now as we speak.
Yeah.
So I don't know how they're going to pull it off. But I've also seen the Grammys being held in other places. Like there was a time when the Grammys were held in New York.
Yeah.
So I don't know whether they're going to choose another place now. Maybe go to Miami. Maybe go back to New York. Try Chicago.
Yeah.
It might be a little harder with so many people mourning, pulling it off in LA because you have tour managers. All these people have been, most people have been affected.
Yeah.
I know to say that that's the whole of LA, but a greater part of LA and the people in the music industry that make the decisions who run the industry, who the showrunners have been affected.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, quite interesting there. Wendy Williams, are you a fan of Wendy Williams?
No, it's not my but I know who she is.
Yeah.
She's responsible for raising so many rappers' profiles,
Yeah.
and also the Lugambo. She has been,
Yeah.
she's the queen of Lugambo.
Yeah.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah. So recently in an interview on the Breakfast Club, Shalom In The Guard and DJ Envy.
Oh, this is interesting. They
Yeah.
did an interview?
Yeah,
Because
but it
one was the
a
former boss of the other. You know that?
yeah,
And they
yeah.
have been having beef.
Yeah, sure.
Okay,
thing.
okay, I need to see
Yeah,
this
so
one too.
it was on a phone call,
Yeah.
and I think she's so close to Charlemagne.
Yes.
And she was on a phone call. And
She's close to Charlemagne now?
yeah.
Maybe they just made up and
Yeah,
their beef is
because
now
Charlemagne kept on
Yeah.
saying, you call me all the time and we talk the situation that you're in and everything. And she,
Yes.
it looks like she's in a confinement whereby she has no freedom. And her being a star,
Yes.
it's rare. Let me say, worldwide, people think in America this is a star, they got money and everything. But she sounded like she said she felt like she was in a prison because she does not have access, to her phone like that because of her caretaker. Keeps taking away the phone and everything. She can't go shopping. She can't choose. She's literally. Sometimes they give her tablets and she asks the doctor, "What is this for?" And it took me back to when Kanye West was, saying they take you saying that you have mental illness
And give
they
you some
give you
shit.
some drugs that
Yes.
really turn you into that person. Yet you initially wasn't.
So what's the question here?
Yeah. So the question is, what do you think about the situation of celebrities that are in confinements like that and don't feel like they have their freedom? Yet America is a land of freedom.
That's a very, very interesting question. Thank you for that. Actually, there's something called a conservatorship, right?
Yeah.
Now, conservatorships are usually set up when someone is either young and a party or someone is nominated to take care of them and their financial affairs or well-being while they become of age.
Yeah.
So for the case of a conservatorship that went wrong, the very first one that we saw, that was Britney Spears and her parents.
Yeah.
And she said, these people were exploiting me. I didn't even have money. I couldn't use a credit card when I did not have money, even when I was starving. I couldn't do anything on my own, yet I'm a mother. I have all this money that I've made all through my hard work and sweat. But the people running my conservatorship, which is guaranteed by law, are saying that I'm not fine and I cannot take care of myself. So it's actually a trap.
Yeah.
You need to be very careful with who becomes your conservator, because for Britney Spears, even her parents were in danger. And she lived in that until actually she was like in her mid-30s or something like that. The campaign to free her has just happened recently, where she said, I want access to my money. I want to be able to see my kids whenever I want to. I need the freedom as an adult to be able to do whatever I want to do with my money.
Yeah.
So some other conservatorships are set up, right, where people deem you to be a danger to yourself.
Yeah.
Or not to be of a sound mind to make financial decisions.
Yeah.
So I think this is what Wendy Williams is going through. And for Wendy Williams, it has been very tricky that she was going through her divorce, losing her job, her mental health, her health was declining, and they claimed that also her mental health was declining. So they set up people to protect her money from whoever wanted to, from the vultures, but that has now backfired. That there was a documentary which was showing that she had no food in the fridge and nobody had come to check on her. And she did not really actually have any money to go. She couldn't leave her house, couldn't go anywhere, because the guards had been instructed not to let her out. She had no money, couldn't order for things, and she was starving in her own mansion.
Yeah.
So it can happen and these things can go wrong. Sometimes when freedom, sometimes when there's so many checks and balances are not monitored, things can go awry.
Yeah.
So we have seen this going. I think there should be another check somewhere where someone has to go through evaluation, right?
Yeah.
Using independent parties, and maybe that can help the loop. Because at the end of the day, it becomes this, you can be stuck in a loop where the doctor is in on it.
Yeah.
So the doctor cannot give you a positive evaluation. They might say, she still has medicine to go, like she's still crazy, she's still a danger to herself, right?
Yeah.
Ethics might be out of the way. By the time you get to ethics to evaluate what this doctor has been doing, you might be starving and suffering for like years, stuck in a loop. And in cases where you don't even have a phone to call people, this is where you need real friends to check on you, you know?
Yeah.
But Wendy Williams was in a very, very tricky situation where her relatives, she had kind of like, fame is a very lonely thing, which people don't know.
Yeah.
If you're to really go for what you want, you're going to be misunderstood, you're going to be judged, and in order to protect yourself, sometimes creating your own island is better.
Yeah.
What helps out most people is that their core family is so strong.
Yeah.
Like you look at Beyonce's core family and it's like, they let nobody in because they can do it all on their own as a family on the inside.
Yeah.
The mother, the dad, the sisters,
Yeah.
and whoever they let into that has to be like really airtight.
Yeah.
So many people are not blessed with that.
Yeah.
Some people fall out with their families over money. They come to borrow. You send no so many times, they're like, it all like, the money becomes a liability.
Yeah.
So for people like Wendy Williams, I'm so sure she has been in a very lonely spot where there's very few people checking on her.
Yeah.
I want to check out that interview, but from what I've been gathering and what we have known, I watched her movie.
Yeah.
Her movie was really funny and actually really inspiring, right? Could have had a higher budget, but I think she sold the rights early because she wanted money. She wanted money to cover expenses,
Yeah.
Her show was shut down like prematurely. Yeah, and I think she had like contractual obligations there.
Yeah.
So we hope that she gets better.
Yeah.
But the Lugambo has to stop because the Lugambo affected so many people's families that they all got mad at her, that she had to isolate herself into being this Lugambo giver that entertains everybody while the whole industry hates you.
Yeah.
And she used to go like so far into people's details of their lives and their marriage. There's a time when Method Man of Wu-Tang had a sick wife, and he did not want anyone knowing that, because if you're dealing with someone who has cancer, who is close to you, you're suffering in your solitude. You want solitude, you want to be able to deal with that as a family through silence. Yeah. She goes on radio and begins blasting the story. Then you begin asking, where's the benefit in that? Unless you wanted someone to just suffer. You get, why are you publicizing that? So, like she made a bed full of thorns, and I think those thorns are pricking. People are saying that part of that is karma.
Yeah.
But we wish her the best, We wish her the best. Yeah.
Speaking of exposing, isn't that what TMZ does, and on a live instant coverage?
Yeah. It ruins people's lives.
Yeah.
While some other people give the tips to TMZ themselves for the promotion, but on the other side, it ruins people's lives. Like TMZ has broken stories of people passing away while their relatives don't even know.
Yeah.
You get me? Like the shock of learning that someone you love dearly or someone who has raised you has passed away while you're watching a screen. Is that how you should live in a decent society? Shouldn't there be decency at a certain point? There should be some journalistic integrity. But organizations like TMZ and how Wendy Williams used to do her job, they put no humanity in that. The story led to them. It leads, it bleeds. If it gives me a few clicks and gives me ratings, F your feelings.
Yeah. You
get me? So that has consequences too.
That's quite interesting because, when you start to look into the whole system, on the Breakfast Club, they have Jess with the mess.
Hey, Jess. But Jess knows how to, knows how to play her cards and massage.
Yeah, because I was watching an interview one time and Asha was telling her, you know what? Tell stories of these people. Don't just bring out the mess.
Just with the mess.
Yeah, because it gets into people's heads and
it does.
It does.
Like there are real lives at the end of these stories that are actually affected.
Yeah.
So I'll give you another example. So Drake in his latest freestyle, right?
Yeah.
He says something about LeBron don't make me ruin your public image.
Yeah.
But he's talking about LeBron.
Yeah.
And he tweets and says something, where he's implying that LeBron is cheating.
Yeah.
He just implied it.
Yeah.
There's no evidence, they know nothing, but this has consequences.
True.
That in LeBron circles now, people have that stain on his career. Before he was like a clean guy.
Yeah.
But because Drake hates happy families, I think. People have this theory that he hates happy families. Because him falling out with LeBron does not mean you affect how kids see their father.
Yeah.
You get me? He only went to Kendrick's June 16th performance. Why should that be such a big deal that you go and attack his family?
Yeah.
You know, and I'm so sure when he did that, he knew what effect that would have.
Yeah.
Like, you have to have a conversation with your wife at the end of the day if this is implied.
Yeah.
Your business partners are going to be looking at you funny.
Yeah.
You get me? So, these newspaper people know exactly what they're doing with these media games. They just don't care. These things have consequences because they're happy to dish it out. But when someone is talking about them, they again want the empathy.
Yeah.
Like, when Wendy Williams was going through her divorce, right? All the people she had talked about who were going through all these troubles came back clapping at her.
Like, so you feel it now.
They're like, so now,
You're testing your own medicine.
You get me? So, yeah, I think society should have these safeguards put back in place. Like, treating abalanga na rwandagadde bakuyise. It's not only about clicks and ratings, you know.
Quite interesting because I think the person who has suffered with, paparazzi the most is Kanye West. Whereby at some point he made peace with them, like he understands them. Like, I know you're a father, this is how you make money, I didn't know, so I respect your job. Then on the other hand, they find him at 4 a.m. He's like, come on, bro, I haven't even had breakfast. You guys are at my house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it was Black Mirror. Which had an episode where this woman is a paparazzi, right?
Yeah.
So they get paid for every hot shot that they get.
Yeah.
So it's places like TMZ that pay them for these pictures, right?
Yeah.
So this story involves like a very long drive of this woman who is like a celebrity going to hide out at her friend's mansion, somewhere in the woods.
Yeah.
But these people climb over fences. They literally go through a lot of shit just to get one image.
Yeah.
But it just so happens that there was a monster tearing up people in a certain restaurant.
Yeah.
And trust me, the scene was so gruesome. All of them were at the edge of death. But the whole thing ends with this woman pulling out her camera and snapping this woman as she takes her last breath.
Damn.
It just shows you that for these people, it's about F your life.
Yeah.
You're now a product. I'm seeing you as an animal, a zoo animal that I just have to take a picture of for me to get paid.
Yeah.
Princess Diana passed away.
Yeah.
Because the driver ensued on a high-speed chase trying to escape the paparazzi. But the paparazzi have also very, very strong bikes and very fast bikes. So if it affects the safety of someone, you get me? All they wanted was privacy. She had found a new boyfriend. Paparazzi was like, this is a hot story. I must be the first to show how they're in the car together.
Yeah.
You get me? I must be... they would even take trips and follow them on a yacht somewhere and see her diving in a bathing suit.
Yeah.
But the consequence now is that 2 boys have grown up without a mother.
Yeah.
And then a very loving father lost a son.
Yeah.
Real life consequences.
Yes.
But for people like Kanye West, yes, the paparazzi is affecting him. He's such a huge star. He's a mega star. But he was also married to someone who knows how to play the media game. That maybe Kanye might not have known this before, but the family where he got a wife, they're so smart at how they play the media that Kim at one time used to admit to giving tips to paparazzi on where they would find them.
Yeah.
Oh, my sister is dating so and so right now. They're going to such and such a mall.
Yeah.
You get me? So that they keep their name hot and, like raise their stakes.
Yeah.
Yeah, the funniest Kanye moment, I think, for me when with paparazzi was when he got out of the shop and is moving with Kim and he has his head down and then he just smacked his head into a stop sign on the road. Did you see that one?
No.
Where he holds his head and it's like, I know why it's funny, but it's like, yeah. It's funny. It's
Crazy.
funny.
Well, if TikTok was banned, would
Yeah.
it be a setback for artists or would it be a get back for them?
I mean, depends on what side you're on. If you're an artist who earns your money through TikTok, because TikTok pays. TikTok actually pays. You see your money and on the back end and you're like, okay, there's some money in this, right?
Yeah.
Their RPM generates more money than Instagram and Meta, the whole Meta organization.
Yeah.
Like Instagram, Facebook, those guys are not interested in paying you.
Yeah.
But you find that most people have been making their money off TikTok. And if you're creative who's also promoting products, TikTok has been like magic, right? So it depends on what side of, are you just watching it for entertainment? Are you a creative who sees this as a business? It's as a business, so many songs are being broken off TikTok.
Yeah.
If my song is used in like a million clips, that's money for me on the other side of the mechanical royalties. So
Yeah.
TikTok is a blessing.
So the fact that it was nearly banned in the US and then, retrieved. If you're hooked on TikTok as an artist and, that's why you...
First of all, it's not good to be hooked on anything.
Hooked on anything,
And it's funny that you use hooked because some people are actually hooked.
Yeah, some
that
people
is an
actually
addiction.
hooked. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So for those who are hooked on TikTok, let's say, and
Yeah.
they look at it as this is my go-to for everything, if it's promo and everything. If it was nearly banned in the US and it can possibly be banned everywhere, what advice would you give those artists to, because when you're hooked onto something and it's taken away from you,
Let me
can
give you
imagine
something.
what
Let me give you something. I mean, every artist is their own artist, and everybody has their own strategy on how they promote their music or how they further their brand, right?
Yeah.
But I'm finding that in my world, I'm making more money with the less posts I make on social media.
Yeah.
Isn't that funny? Like,
It's funny, yeah.
Like everyone has this thing that you're supposed to be present in people's faces day in, day out. So you're like a mouse on a lab wheel.
Yeah.
Stuck in one place. When I post less on social media, but I find that professionally I've generated more time for myself to also work on my creative endeavors, and I'm making more money than when I'm looking at how much I'm getting out of the content that I put out on social media.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
And I was explaining it to someone the other day. He's like, oh my God, I see you got Snapchat, but I don't see you post anything on Snapchat. In terms of banning TikTok, I was having a discussion again with a friend of mine, not a friend of mine, my wife, and she was saying, the less social media platforms we have, the better.
Yeah.
And it actually makes sense. You get me? I don't need all of them. Actually, there are too many.
Yeah.
Can we have less? But let's take the ones that we don't use, actually.
Yeah.
But TikTok, TikTok, Twitter for me, TikTok, Twitter, YouTube is my shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think about social media platforms? Because at the end of the day, you'll find that it's like a matrix whereby they're getting people to concentrate on something that can be taken away from them, and they're putting all their resources.
It shows you how much it's an addiction, because I can't imagine the number of videos I saw of TikTokers crying.
Yeah.
I mean, I checked on my phone and it was shut down because my TikTok was registered in the US.
Yeah.
But I didn't cry. There was no emotion for me.
Yeah.
But I was seeing people emotional. But I understand it if it's your bread and butter.
Yeah.
I was looking at people's accounts with $10,000. That's their payout. Of course, if that has been how you built your audience, you get me, it's really painful. If such a thing goes away. It's your bread and butter. At the end of the day, you need to understand that this is business.
Yeah.
There are businesses where their whole model for selling whatever they're selling have found more success in TikTok than any other platform.
Yeah.
And to be honest, Facebook and Instagram are, I don't know. I have a love-hate. I'm not a fan of. Let me not use the word hate.
Yeah.
I'm not really a fan of. It just exists because some of my fans use these platforms.
Yeah.
But you find that they're very exploitative in terms of how they program, in terms of how they collect data on the people, on the users.
Yeah.
TikTok does the same thing. They all collect data on the users. So this is the dark side of social media.
Yeah.
People generate content on it. They generate the eyeballs. The people give them money. People with products give them money. People with services. But at the end of the day, the government spying, the involvement of governments in understanding human behavior that's behind this wall that you see. It's not just about TikTok dancing silly. Yeah. It's about influencing social behavior.
Yeah.
We just talk about social engineering and the programming and the morality and the decay in the morality basically that you see. And how now most young people prioritize, right?
Yeah.
Their phones over interaction with the person who's physically there.
Yes.
Call it a matrix, but it's a matrix in the real sense.
Yeah.
And the prison is like right here.
Yeah.
It's a box.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah, but relationships break down because people are addicted to these platforms.
Yes.
And at the end of the day, behind that, these algorithms are engineered to be addictive.
Yeah.
But we also live in a time where even the governments that are supposed to regulate these apps and companies don't understand what's going on.
Oh, they're also a part of the whole thing.
No, the deep state, the deep governments like Pentagon and whatever, trust me, they're invested in these companies.
Yeah.
They are invested in these companies. Part of the reason TikTok was being shut down was because the US government believed that the information was being sold back to the people in China.
Yeah.
You get me?
Yeah.
They believed ByteDance, which is the parent company of TikTok, it was selling the metadata back to China.
Yeah.
And they couldn't have that.
Yeah.
But it's a fact.
Yeah.
Like we're being looked at as zeros and ones
instead
of looking at ourselves as humans.
Yeah.
But the reason why I'm telling you is that I'm finding more peace in posting less.
Yeah.
And I'm actually making more money in posting less is I have more time for my son.
Yeah.
Again, I have more time for my son.
Yeah.
I have more time to meet business partners.
Yeah.
You get me? And part of the fact is realizing that artists, the most successful artist of 2024, only has 6 posts ever since his career began.
Yeah.
And on most of these platforms, he didn't even have accounts.
Yeah.
Jay-Z does not have an account.
Yeah.
He's one of the richest artists. Doesn't have an account on this because this is slavery.
Yeah.
This is digital slavery. Kendrick Lamar only pops out when he wants to post and tell you his album is out.
Yeah.
And then he goes back. Beyonce doesn't do interviews. She posts, but I bet it's someone whose job is to post and manage her account.
Yeah.
But the cost in terms of our humanity, in terms of the mental health, in terms of how many lies people are telling that they're trying to live up to, in terms of the expectations that people praise and put on themselves, it's a tough world out there created by these social media algorithms.
It's quite interesting. Somebody told me that Cristiano Ronaldo is not on TikTok because TikTok believed that if he gets on, he's going to take almost half of their budget in terms of how much money he's going to make off it, and they'll not have enough to give all the other TikTokers that are also earning from, their small, because Cristiano breaks, records when he decides to go, like when he went on YouTube and, millions of subscribers instantly and stuff like that.
Yes.
So it's quite interesting in that sense that...
It's very powerful and it's very influential that there are stars like that, right?
Yeah.
Most Hollywood people are losing more power.
Yeah.
That right now you might find that Kai Cenat might have the same power as an A-lister in Hollywood.
Yeah.
like before having the mystique and secrecy about your life,
Yeah.
only applies to people whose names are already cemented, like a Denzel. Denzel doesn't need to be on social media.
Yeah.
But you know his name and you already know what he can deliver.
Yeah.
Where people like Kai Sinat, in real time, they're giving you a reaction.
Yeah.
They're giving you their story.
Yeah.
And they're always streaming.
Yeah.
So part of the relevance of the Gen Zs is online.
Yeah.
Most of the other generations that come before, it's real skills.
Yeah.
Which also speaks to, there's a lot of, what's okukona in English? Stagnated, right?
Yeah.
Stagnated in terms of like skills development.
Yeah.
There are people who would rather chat with a bot than actually go out there and find themselves a girlfriend or a boyfriend.
Isn't that interesting?
You get me? So Ronaldo is a virtual boyfriend for so many women.
Damn.
You get me? And there's so many attractive women on OnlyFans who are like virtual girlfriends to so many men who have never developed the skill of actually vibing someone.
Yeah.
Or actually having a conversational connection with a real human being.
The bot tell me how you feeling. Like, let me talk to you. Let me,
Yes.
things like that. And I'm like, what?
Yes.
Somebody you don't even know, you don't even see, and
Yes.
they're basically studying human emotions.
Yes.
From millions of people.
Do you know what happened the last time that I posted on Facebook?
What happened?
I broke the internet.
Okay.
Facts. Yeah.
Yeah. So we're gonna get back a little bit back home here, and there is this artist songwriter who made a statement, and he was like, he said, a concert based on your past relevance is literally closing off your career, and he was talking about artists now who are embarking on concerts after concerts.
Which artist? Who is this?
He's called Nisendri.
An artist doing a show based on their past relevance is
literally closing off their career.
Is literally closing. I think that's I want to be open-minded.
Yeah.
That's how he sees it. I respect it.
Yeah.
But that's very limited.
Yeah.
Like it's like a very, very limited imagination.
Yeah. And he was urging artists to go back and make music and
Yes.
come back and, be relevant in present times, and then, add on to the other.
Truly so.
Yeah.
So he has a very, very big point there.
Yeah.
But I would like us to also point out to him, maybe he's not an observant artist or songwriter,
Yeah.
that I can't remember the last time I heard a new Afrigo song.
Yeah.
But Afrigo can do a tour anywhere in the world where an artist on TikTok who has just put out a song cannot even like fill a room like that. I was just talking to Afrigo's manager, and I also have a cousin in Afrigo. Most people don't know this.
Yeah.
I say it proudly. I say it proudly because I love Afrigo music.
Yeah.
But I can tell you this, that even for me at my age, right? I'm just riding off nostalgia of Afrigo's music.
Yeah.
Like if I hear a remix of Jim Wange, I'm pissed off because they can never measure up to how pure and how emotional the first version was.
Yeah.
You look at, and I'm just pointing out Afrigo because everybody in Uganda knows Afrigo. That's a very, very, I think some people put their emotions into some statements that they make.
Yeah.
And they forget that there's a reasoning and logic behind certain things. And that in the world, Buju Banton did not make his concert because the concert was not successful because of the new songs he put out.
Yeah.
It was because people came to see the real Gaga male, performing.
Yeah.
In the US, you have so many legacy acts that are still doing amazing things. I saw a tiny desk of Juvenile.
Yeah.
It was crazy. It was lit.
Yeah.
So in the US, you have all these acts performing in Las Vegas, getting residencies, and going everywhere in the world, that they are relevant. People are not interested in a new Lionel Richie song.
Yeah.
He can make music because he's a creator, he's a creative, but if Lionel Richie comes to Uganda and he doesn't sing hello, and by the way, if he came to Uganda, he would fill a very big venue.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's not, it's a way of looking at things through a very limited and skewed perspective.
Yeah.
Than being very, very open-minded. Dolly Parton is still killing people out there.
Yeah, sure thing. And Africa is set to, you know, celebrate 50 years.
Africa said they just celebrated over 47. Now they're celebrating their 50.
Yeah.
And we're all going to be there. And I'm going to buy a table.
Sure thing.
You get me? And yet there are people with new songs who have like relevant hit songs that I cannot even spend 5,000 shillings on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure thing. And UB40 comes around and holds a
UB40,
concert.
very good example. You know? I think here it's a thing of valuing artistry at the end of the day.
Yeah.
It's the value in the artistry that you have.
Exactly.
There are people who have a limited catalogue. Inayo luyimba luma inayo nyimba bbiri. Okiraba?
Yeah.
Naye mbu ayagala kuteekayo concert ennene tujja gamba gunda soko twesonyiwemu.
Yeah.
But there are people with a catalogue of like 300 songs.
Yeah.
Like, if he's to perform on a show of 1 hour, those are about only 12 songs that they can put in that show.
Yeah.
And fully perform them and execute them well. Usually they are the classics.
Yeah.
You get me? So it's about artistry and how you enjoy a song. It's like me saying Sade. You know Sade?
Yeah.
Like, who doesn't know Sade? If you know what music is, it's Sade's old records that bring people to wherever she goes. Even if Sade announced a concert right now, tickets would sell out within a second.
Yeah.
That's not her selling off her career.
Yeah.
That's her just popping out to give people an experience.
Yeah.
And we have seen this happen with so many rock bands. The Rolling Stones would go on tour anytime they wanted. And they would pack up a stadium, whether in South America, whether in Asia.
Yeah.
And I bet if they came to Africa, South Africa, they would do the same thing, you know?
Yeah, even 50 Matches is criticized for his residency.
But it was successful, you know? And you know what's funny? Actually, someone just shared a clip of our boy, Miliology.
Yeah.
He was in the crowd. While 50 was doing his thing in Boston.
Yeah. Which was interesting. And, you know, Rickman also came out and he was like, he's sick and tired of people saying, you know, Ugandan industry has no music, you know, music has no formula. It was like, yo, if you want it, go get it. If you don't want it, live it.
Yeah, just live it.
know?
Rickman is right.
Yeah.
Chidandali is a genre.
Yeah.
You know, like, sometimes the audience where you're performing art dictates your art.
Yeah.
So it's up to you, the artist, to give them, to be confined by where you grew up from. Yeah. Or expand your wings.
Yeah.
But I think time has come for people to admit that Chidandali is a genre.
Yeah.
Chinyanya is a genre.
Yeah.
And then there are other traditional genres.
Yeah.
Now, and every era has its stars. You get me? You cannot beat nostalgia.
Yeah.
That's why you see people always talking about, back in my day. I don't want to be people shouldn't be the old people in the post like, back in my day. You get me? Yeah, this is now. The only difference is, at the end of the day, that the quality back then is so much better. And that's why these artists keep on getting more money than the current artists.
Yeah. And yet we have the most recent tech.
Yeah, but I can tell you that, and then there's Luga Flow.
Yeah.
And then there's the hip-hop. Hip-hop. What do you have hip-hop now? You get me? But I must tell you that ever since I came back to UG, I've noticed that the pen game of R&B artists, all you other guys are joking. Raga has declined totally.
Yeah.
Totally. Chinyanya, your pen is bullshit.
Yeah.
Chidandali, your pen is bullshit.
Yeah.
But R&B guys, Ugandan R&B, the younger artists of R&B, even the older artists, whoever is writing, the pen game is amazing. The pen game, the lyrics coming through on the R&B level, all other genres now are trailing behind.
Yeah.
Even the rappers now have to catch up with R&B.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Quite interesting. Yeah. Well, T.I. is set to kick off his stand-up comedy journey with shows scheduled
Naye
for
TI.
Sunday
TI,
and Monday evenings at
expeditiously.
7:30 p.m.
Expeditiously.
At Center Stage in Atlanta. What do you think about? We talked about comedy sometime, and you seem to have some interest in comedy, and now T.I. is coming out to actually, because you asked me a question sometime that, what do you think if I did a stand-up comedy? I was like, okay, that's far-fetched, but T.I. is here, you know.
And you didn't think I was funny?
Yeah, I did.
There are two people in this world who don't think I'm funny. You and sadly, my partner doesn't think I'm funny. So, but I don't think she says it. I think she says it because she doesn't want me to be, you know.
Yeah.
But some other people find me like really, really, really funny. Actually, here's the evidence. Before I came through and started writing lyrics that were funny and bars that were funny in Uganda, there was no humor in Uganda, in Uganda's lyrics.
Yeah.
I'm not blowing my horn, but go back and look.
Yeah, but that's facts, though.
People never used to write like that.
Yeah, that's facts.
But right now, when you look at all the TikTok, these kids are funny. You get me? They're funny in their lyrics. Now, what makes you think I can't apply that storytelling?
I think you used to balance it. Kids today are going all the way out. And they're being vulgar with it.
Everybody, I'm not talking about being vulgar. That's not the point I'm addressing here. I'm talking about humor.
Yeah.
Humor does not need to be vulgar. Like Charlie Chaplin was put on a screen and would tell a story without saying a word and without him removing his clothes.
Yeah.
Or imitating humping on stage.
Yeah.
It was just a story told, clean, funny.
Yeah.
Will Smith never used to curse. Okay, now people know him for saying, keep my wife's name out of your mouth.
Yeah.
But Will Smith spent his whole rap career, I think of about 20 years.
Yeah.
And his whole comedic career being the French Prince of Bel-Air without using the F word, S word, no B word.
Yeah.
Clean fun.
Yeah.
And some people actually that's their comedic style, right? While there are people who are just vulgar all the way through, right?
Yeah.
It really hurts me that you guys don't think I'm funny and you don't think that I can pull it off. But you know what? These are the things that usually my ego is going to want now to prove to you guys that I'm funny. So while you're laughing and you you ha, I'm going to be working on my special. And now you just hear me calling people somewhere for taping. And then the world will decide if I'm funny or not. Because if it's left to you two guys, people might think I have no comedic talent. Kale, we'll see. I'm coming for you. Kale, give me a year. Give me a year. I'm going to train my comedic muscle now.
Yeah.
But you're talking about T.I., eh?
Yeah.
First of all, T.I., the very first time he held a microphone and went to do stand-up, there were crickets. It did not work. He was a rapper trying to be funny, and then they showed him, bruh, this is not a place where you hold your nuts and in a vest and you move from left to right. People need to respect stand-up comedians.
Yeah.
I'm also saying that, okay, maybe I'm funny, but at the end of the day, I also have a doubt. Like when I saw that happen to T.I., I was like, it's like, you need to respect the art. Things are easy when you're watching them.
Yeah.
Things are easy when everybody is a soccer coach when they are not on the pitch.
Yeah.
But put them on the pitch. No, every idiot in Uganda who can afford 2 beers while he's watching soccer coaches Arsenal. Every idiot in a Marua joint, when Liverpool is playing, as he was ordering Akipi, he's also advising the coach of Liverpool on how to do a better substitution. But put him in the field. You get me? Put them in the field and say Team Yiyo.
Yeah.
And they won't even know where to begin.
Yeah.
Simula, Tunga.
Yeah.
So even I respect people's art. I respect people's professions.
Yeah.
Whether a person is a Tunga chalani and they are making a suit for me, whether a person is a katunda maker, whether a person is a gardener, these people have certain knowledge that makes them specialists in their field and they are professionals.
Yeah.
So even T.I. is like me saying, you know what, maybe let me try and see if I'm funny.
Yeah.
You get me?
Yeah.
But I would never put myself on the same pedestal as a Trevor Noah.
Yeah.
Like a genius or a Dave Chappelle.
Yeah.
Do you notice how I've chosen an international star instead of a local guy?
Yeah.
Because I'm at that level.
Yeah.
But never want to.
You can name one you can take on.
Salvador, Dr. Hilary, the role model, my friend. My friend, the role model, Omara. Let me see which other comedian I can manage. Amot is bad. Amot, I can't afford. Amot is natural. It's from God. Eh?
I think you should take out Salvador as well.
But also this dude is crazy.
Who?
Mariachi. Yeah. Mariachi is crazy. His stuff sounds like it's a freestyle. Yeah, he's crazy. Like freestyle.
Yeah.
Be left, right, center. Before he knows it, double entendre. Hey, crowd. The crowd bursts in laughter, and then they stand up and give me a standing ovation. That's what's happening in my mind. The reality might be different. Might be like T.I.'s result. They were crickets. T.I. was trying to be funny, and the crowd is like...
I'm sure Alex is your friend, and you will be more than glad.
I told Alex to give me 10 minutes on the stage, and he got scared.
And he'll be more than glad to have you on that stage.
He got scared that I would revolutionize the comedic industry the same way I did hip-hop. But never until.
Yeah. That's quite interesting. One issue I wanted us to talk about before we wind up this is, our DJs. Recently, one of the legendary Ugandan DJs was involved in an accident which is survived. And
Shiru.
Yeah, DJ Shiru.
Yes.
What's your take on DJ Shiru's longevity? Because it looks like DJs come and go, but Shiru keeps,
I think DJ Shiru's strength, legendary in every sense of the word. DJ Shiru's strength is in not only skill, because he's DJ Rota's brother. I don't know if he's a blood brother, but he comes from the ilk of DJ Rota, and we all know what DJ Rota did here.
Yeah.
Most of the instruments that you know here were brought by DJ Rota.
Yeah.
And even that culture of DJing, actually. From what I remember, if it wasn't a DJ Berry, then you have a DJ Rota.
Yeah.
That I can think of that come to my mind.
Yeah.
So he comes from that DJ Rota ilk.
Yeah.
And then besides having skill, his strength, I think, for me, is relationships.
Yeah.
Shiru has like so many relationships in this industry that he can afford to put on a show actually as DJ Shiru, and so many artists will show up.
Yeah.
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 So I hope he's feeling fine now, because I saw his car got mangled up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And talk about his music. Him venturing into music.
But we did a successful song at one time. I think it was on one of his albums. I don't know what the album was called, but it was called Zina.
Yeah.
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 It was, I think, G Munji, Viboyo, and Shiru.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. Did you shoot a video for it?
I think we shot a video, but the video wasn't released.
Okay.
I think the video wasn't released, but it's somewhere. If you look for it on the internet or on Shiru's albums, it's there.
Yeah.
Yeah. But also Mr. DJ, he was a part of the Mr. DJ set. Like, we've seen Shiru grow through so many eras.
Yeah.
But you're talking about what's the secret for his longevity?
Yeah.
I think the secret is in relationships and networking.
Yeah.
So Shiru has this center where most artists used to drop their music for distribution.
Yeah.
And so imagine people from Gulu, Nakapiripit, even where you're from in Chazanga, people have flashes there. You might think they're still on CD.
Yeah.
Because in your village, New Vision, Sunday Vision arrives on a Thursday. Again, but for you Thursday. the Sunday Vision is arriving. We know how far it is. But even there, people like bring a flash, DJ Shiru puts on the music, and it's distributed all over the country. So imagine all those relationships for like a decade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So last but not least, Keiko was like female rappers are misrepresenting their image as rappers, as female rappers in the hip hop, scene.
Yes. Elucidate, please.
Yeah.
Nyonyola.
Yeah. So she came out in an interview with you, and she was like, you know what? I feel like female rappers today, the way they portray themselves does not paint a good picture for female rappers, from way back. When you see from the time of the Evie Easy was more of, the Queen Latifah, it was more of, the pen game is up and everything. Yeah. What's your take on that? Do you think the female rappers right now, are misrepresenting based on, if you're to compare from back then and now?
I think, first of all, before we even get into whether they're misrepresenting or not, I think we need more female rappers, period.
Yeah.
It's a very big sausage party.
Yeah.
There's so many sausages. When you mention like rappers, you mention like about 50 men before you get to like women.
Yeah.
Okay, Keiko being in the top 10, then Waliwo like a very, very big gap when you're talking about representation. So we need a little bit of balance there.
Yeah.
And I mean the balance which is based on merit, on how strong someone's pen is. The way Eve used to own her space.
Yeah.
And I think Keiko has a point there where an artist like Eve, it wasn't because of her sexuality, but it was because of her pen.
Yeah.
You get me? But also on the other side, you see how a Cardi B or a Lil Kim or Foxy, how they sold that image.
Yeah.
You get me? My favorite artists, actually, my favorite female artist right now in hip-hop who is a female is Rhapsody.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen Rhapsody's ass being shaken anywhere, but it's because of her brain power. Yeah. And you respect that. Like, how did she think of that? How does she flow like that? There's like depth in what she's saying.
Yeah.
Lauryn Hill was the same thing. Rad Digger for me, like back in the day, Dirty Harriet was even what's her name? Papoose' ex.
Yeah.
Remy Ma.
Yeah.
Yeah, Remy Ma took Busta Rhymes to school one time and MOP on a song.
Yeah.
For me, that's the kind of artistry that I respect.
Yeah.
This whole Barbie era is not for me.
Yeah.
The Barbie era, I'm rapping, but my ass is facing the crowd and I'm doing like this, looking back at it. That's not the kind of hip hop I enjoy.
Yeah.
I'm not in the Ice Spice, and Ice Spice is existing in the same time you're having like a Rhapsody. But I bet Rhapsody is going to get a Grammy before Ice Spice.
Yeah.
I simply look at Deutsche, like artistry first before any of the other extra stuff.
Yeah.
So for me, I think that's the kind of artistry that I enjoy, and Keiko is right in that. But anyway, to each his own. Everybody knows how to generate their money. Women are confident. Sometimes sexuality is how they own their space.
Yeah.
So it's all about expression, and hip hop is at the center of that expression. Yeah.
Sir, that's what's up.
Yeah.
We've come to the end of this. Thanks for your time.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Yeah, we appreciate it. Next time.
Peace.
Peace.